We're at kind of a intriguing looking mine out in the desert here. See the head frame there. My friend silhouetted against it for scale. Drops down there. So we get in and take a look at it. There's this weird contraption in front of us here. I'm not sure what that was used for or how that was used. This was a gold mine, if that's a clue to anybody. There's a view of the desert beyond. All right, climb back up and get underground. First look down the shaft, you can see the collar is pretty well timbered. No idea how far down this goes, but let's get in there and find out. We're just barely into this mine. That's the head frame up there. You still see the daylight. To my immediate right is this chamber here, which that's the extent of it. So maybe powder storage, who knows. Across the way, you see that little drift right there.
Check out the cable grooves into the rock. I think you greased it here too. It wore in grooves.
Oh yeah. You guys see that? That's pretty impressive actually.
Same thing right there in that timber.
Oh yeah, you see the notch it cut in the timber there? Good looking stuff. I think that's just the end right there. Is that what you see?
It looks like it could keep going, but there's a winds right in the floor there.
Okay, well, we'll check it out. If it's worth showing on camera, I will. Otherwise, this keeps dropping down that way. We were just checking out that little chamber room with a wooden door over there. I crossed over the track there to get into this room. And while I was doing that, my friends went down below there, past this little winze. This level actually continues. Does not stop as I expected. There's looks like another winze right here, or an ore pass or something. And then this faces out right there. So I will drop down and join my friends down there. Alright, we dropped down from the head frame there. I just went in the drift, and I can't even see it here. To the left there. Come down farther. The next level. There's a chamber there. The mine keeps dropping down there. There's that little drift my friend was in is there. He said it just went back maybe 20 feet and there was an ore pass down to this chamber here. I don't feel like crawling through all that bird crap. There's just bird crap everywhere in here. And he already said it was pretty featureless and uninteresting. I'd rather get down and see what's at the bottom of the main workings. So I'm going to push on and see what's down there. I'm a bit farther down now. You see from the daylight how far up the portal is up there. Bit of obstruction there from debris that's come down. You see the ladders are a bit dodgy. It seems they've just been stoping right and left off of this stoping right and left off the shaft on the way down. Obviously, there's a fair amount of waste rock piled up there. Some gob in there. What I was going to say is obviously this just faces out right there. That's where the bat is sort of fluttering around. Then this stuff here ties into the shaft right there. Look at the geology down here real quickly. Haven't seen anything particularly interesting yet in terms of geology. And then across the way, a lot of pressure built up on that. See all that rock back there? Across the way, stoped out more. I don't think I've shown you down yet. It levels out a little bit there and then gets pretty steep again, dropping off that edge there. Looks like it's stoped out a little bit on the edge, and then just lots of bits of metal and things like that down here. Across the way, looks like there might be a pit or something there. This is going to require some dexterity to get across those steep rocks, so I'm going to put the camera away for a minute and pick up over there. We were just looking over there. I've crossed over the shaft again from down there. You see that cap and post have come apart there. Kind of interesting look behind me. Looks like a fault wall right here, given how flat and smooth it is. You can see some of the stoping that goes along the side, as I mentioned. I bet that drops down to another stoping. There's all these stopes along the sides. They're just feeding ore down the sides, and then I'll pick it up at some point. We'll look down from the top of that before. And then over here, this just runs down to another level as well a little bit. Yeah. See, it's just stope after stope after stope dropping down on either side of this mine. So it might be a pretty cool station down toward the bottom where they dumped all this. Yeah, look at the stope. Looks like some old fuse cord down there. Alright, I think that's it. Keep dropping down. I'm very curious as to what's at the bottom of this one. I will show you this now because I'm going to need both hands to get down the steeper section. So there's a view of what is ahead. Looks like more stoping on the right there where my light's moving. And then I'm going to, the ladder actually doesn't even exist right there. I'm just going to climb down the rails. We'll go down that steep spot and I'll pick up wherever it is, well, wherever there's something interesting to film again. Okay, we've been dropping down from there. You can see the rail running up toward the head frame. There, I'm at the next level down. I'm climbing down the rail, and there's a drift level running off that way. And then behind me, there's just a little pocket. Dead ends right there. The shaft keeps dropping down behind me. Looks like it's all plugged up with debris down there, but I won't know until I actually get down there. So for now, regardless, we're going to head down this drift and see how things look. Alright, picking up inside the drift level, you can see they had a platform or little trestle running out here to intersect with the shaft there, where they would have loaded the skip car up with ore coming out of here. Yeah, see, remember I told you those stopes just dropping down the sides? This is another one. This is obviously one of the main levels they would have dropped down into. Here's a look back at the shaft there. There's actually stoping all up above us as well, which is kind of cool. This must have been paying pretty well given how much they've cleared out back here. Feel some airflow right now. Look at all this stoping. This is impressive. Up there as well. Little pillar right there. Could be, I think that's additional stoping there. I'll know in a minute. There's a drift level running that way. Stick with the right hand rule. There's, wow, some more stoping back here. That's the bottom of this chamber, but that cuts over into more stoping. It's all stoped out up there, and that runs back toward the shaft. That's some of the stoping. That's another side of some of the stoping we saw before. Looks like they left this as a pillar, a support pillar here. So That's what the ore they were taking out looks like. Right there. Okay. This is where we need to go next, but I want to look over here because I think this just drops down. Oh, there's another stoped out section there. Oh, look. See that roller right there? That's kind of cool. Huh. Oh, I was mistaken. This does run. Oh well, I'm here now. Might as well keep going. Another roller right there. Huh. And then these workings drop down. I think these are all just stopes, actually. So there's a little mini drift there. See some rail there. Some other stuff. We'll go check that in a minute. This is stoped out here as well. Huh. Alright. It's just tricky walk around in here. There's a lot of stuff to trip and stumble over when you're trying to hold a camera. I'm going to drop down there and follow that mini little route. I think those are my friend's backpacks there, so obviously they want to head that way too. I was just shooting over there and I was just about to crawl through that hole behind me when I looked up and saw this work platform up above us that I thought was really cool. You don't see that often intact in the mines. The miners would have stood on that to work that stope above them. You see the top of the stope there? So the miners would have been standing on this to work on that. That's pretty cool. I don't see that often in mines. Usually it's just been taken down. You see the stoles that are left. Alright, now I'll crawl through that hole. I just crawled through that hole there and thought I felt airflow when I was crawling through. And I sure did. It obviously punches out to the outside world. There's a hole there that drops down to the stope that was covered up by this collapse here. See some of the stuff down there. Things people have tossed in there over the years, like that. So that way is no longer accessible. You can see there's more stoping back here. It's got pretty good cribbing, holding things up. They jammed all the wedges in there to make things really tight. This stope runs up. There's another view of that cribbing. This stope runs up to there. It doesn't keep going. I checked, it doesn't keep going that way. That's pretty cool. They stoped out a lot of material here. We just finished checking out what was down there. As I was coming out, I noticed this old tobacco tin at my feet. It's full of grease. So they're probably using it to grease the rails or something. If you'll recall, we have this section still to examine. It's a good look at the ore right there, or darker colored ore. I don't know if I mentioned, this is a gold mine. I guess I didn't mention. There's some of that stoping that ran through at one time but has been backfilled there. There's passage here. Just looks, some of the stuff that come down. Just stoping and stoping and more stoping. That ties into some of the stuff we saw before. Bits of wood tossed around. And I look at the ore. This, I'm sure, cuts back to where we were just a moment ago, yeah. We were just standing over there a minute ago, so we're not missing anything coming around this way. There's, looks like that stope ran down to the next level. It's all pinched up right now, but seems like it ran down there at one time. Continuing this way. Oh, there's so much to trip over back here. Oh, I kept expecting that to face out. Instead it kept running. There's a face right here. And there's also a face right here. It seems like exploratory work. Probably because of what is to my left, which is winds. Winds that once housed a windlass. You can see where the windlass sat right there. See those notches in the wood? There's obviously, that must be a drift level. I'm assuming the main shaft ties into this. It's going in the right direction. Maybe this was first. I don't know. It's hard to say what the older or newer workings here are. There's no ladder or anything left. So get down there. You see bits of rail. This carries out to there. And that's it. So hopefully that main shaft is still open for us to be able to drop down there and look up at this in a few minutes. We'll find out. We just finished checking out that drift level. Now it is our duty to continue dropping down the shaft to the level that's down there. Hopefully it's not just a bunch of trash piled up. We can actually get by. We'll know momentarily. We just climbed down from up there and we have reached the bottom. There's a drift running off that way. It's like a little workbench back there. I think this is a sump underneath. This is all stuff people have tossed down the shaft. I believe this is a sump beneath me. It's all hard rock down there. So, unless an absolutely gigantic slab somehow ended up there. I believe this is the end, or at least the bottom. You can see the ore car tracks right there. So the way that would have worked is a skip car would have run down, that's my backpack there, would have run down here on these rails and stopped about where I'm standing. The ore car would have been pushed over and dumped in. So all those stopes we saw lining the sides on the way down, all that ore would have been sent down, 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 all along there, until we eventually hit the bottom somewhere over there, and we've been carried out by ore cart to here to be hauled back up and out. There is, that might be part of the skip car there actually. As I say, it looks like there's a little slusher chute right here. That just ends right there. Don't think there's anything back here. Nope, just some rocks and debris. See if there's anything else here. There's another look at that ore car rail and such. Alright, let me climb over that and I'll resume filming right about there. I was just shooting over there and you see there was some little workstation here. A bucket of grease right there, a shelf right here. However, this whole section has been inundated in waste rock that sloughed off from up there. These timbers next to me are sort of doing their job still. Sort of. Looking behind me, a couple timbers posts that have come down. Looks like some compressed air lines. There is a nice looking track running back that way. And there is an ore pass here. Remember I told you the ore get passed down from stope to stope until it hit the bottom? Well, this is one of the major dump points. It would have come down, would have filled an ore car here, and then it would have been run out to the shaft back there. So let's go see how things are looking here. Really want to tie into that winds we looked down. This is looking good. Nice scene with a rail there. Don't know how far this goes. You see all the utility lines along the side there. Kind of bad ground down here. I'm not surprised about all the ground fall we're seeing. Some bent up rail and such here. I don't know what's back there. That may be where that winds was. I'll check later. I want to see where this main one goes for now. These must be older workings because I'm having to really bend over to get through here. They're very small and tight. They're a bucket of grease. They must have been greasing the rails a lot. Down here. Let's see. Normally, these are used for tracking ore car loads. And they're connected to a stope or a winds. Neither of which I see here. So, I'm not sure what the story is there. Yeah, see, there's nothing here in terms of a stope or a winds. Huh, okay. This looks ugly. I don't know how that got down here. This must go to the surface because look at all this, well, dead pigeon right there, for example. So there's another stope there. Pretty sure we looked down that one. There is a winds here. I think we just looked through there a minute ago. There's that big tire there. I was just looking around a minute to understand the layout of the room here. So first of all, there's this ladder here, and this runs up to the level above where there was that opening to the outside world. If I take the light away, see the daylight right there? That's where we looked up before to the outside world. Back here, oh, I forgot to mention, somebody didn't know about the shaft and came in the other direction from the outside world, and they did a really poor job of rope work. First of all, the rope is not appropriate for the job at hand. Second of all, they simply looped it around those two support timbers right there, which are barely hanging on. Those aren't even support timbers, it's just lagging. See how they're barely hanging on right there? That was a pretty questionable job of rope work, and they could have just come down the shaft. Over here is, well, that's a slusher right there, which is kind of cool. Didn't expect to see that here. See a slusher there? Pretty cool. There, let's see. Got some bent up rail and pipe. I didn't look up here yet. Bent up rail and pipe. That runs up to the stopes above. Not sure what the story is there. There is, oh, okay, okay. That's where we looked through before. Remember we looked up and saw these two big posts here? And I said, oh, I'll come back to that. That's because I wasn't keen on crawling under that slab right there. So I'm glad I don't have to do that. And then this just faces out right there. I wasn't keen to go under that slab because how fractured that is. Was not looking forward to that. So looking back this way, a lot going on over here too. I haven't been back over here yet. I just took a quick peek. We've got another workstation here. Bunch of cables twisted up there. Air lines, water lines running along there. See those notches there? That's normally what you see with square set timbering. So they actually did some semi-square set timbering here. See this frame they built up? There's a notch right. That's all notched out there. Up there, they cribbed this out, or they set this up as square set timbering. And what exactly was going on here, I haven't figured out yet. There's a little chute right there. You've got this table here with nothing left on it really. So maybe when I see this from another angle, I'll figure out what they were doing there. There is a little drift that faces out right there. This is more of that stoping we're checking out on the level above. Get over here. I'll have to climb over. 200 feet from decline. There's nothing of note down here. Got the track under there. I'm not sure why they have this big wooden structure here. I've got that structure here behind me. See? And then there's this ramp here that they seem to have been sending down to there. I can't make sense of this yet. What were they doing here? Oh, look at this. This is really interesting. So, they were very meticulously tracking the loads. What's that guy's name? Bill McCabe. They were very meticulously tracking the loads that came through here. They even have the dates. It's unheard of to see that. See? December 2nd, December 3rd, December 4th. So all through December 68. They were working the heck out of this. Wow. Yeah, they worked the hell out of this. There's a lot of loads that came through here. I still don't quite understand how this all fit together. Because we have an ore chute here. Yeah, that leads up to the stopes that we saw above. There's a little drift level here that runs and faces out right there. And there's some wood tossed back here. Just making sure I'm not missing anything. And then there's more stoping here. Yeah, that just faces out right there. I still can't make sense of what they're doing here with these ramps. So there's like a stope there, but all that wood piled up there. I'm gonna cross over there and see if I can figure out what's going on. Just crossed over these slippery boards here to get to this point. This looks like backfilled stope down here. And so I'm wondering if they weren't putting waste rock down here, because it has that look. That would explain the ramp. So rather than bother hauling all the waste rock out, they could have just taken the ore out and dumped the waste rock over on this side. I'm going to go with that theory for now, because that's the only that makes sense to me. There's a bunch of jumbled up wood here, and these planks keep crossing over there. There's another stope above me here. I don't know if this connects to those upper workings or not, but there's that. I will cross over these rotten boards because they still seem pretty decent. I'm going to try and get you a better view of what's below. Yeah, that is all backfilled Stope from the look of things. I wonder how far down that ran originally. Those stoles right there would suggest it went down pretty far. I would love to know how much they dumped in there. This keeps going here. Okay, yeah, just some of this woodwork and such definitely seems older to me. That the 1960s work doesn't mean that's when the mine was started. That just means probably the last time it was worked. But this could be a lot older. There's a face here. A lot of debris has come down. Looks like they had 2 ore chutes here. There's something running way up there. Yeah, I think they must have had 2 ore. This is 8 feet apart. I doubt they had an 8-foot wide ore chute here. And this just looks like a raise. I think that just stops right there. Huh. A lot of questions generated by this mine. And it appears this doesn't look like waste rock. This looks like stuff that just broke off or was sent tumbling down. Looks like I thought that might be burned, but I think it's just rotted. Maybe it's burned. Hard to say. When it gets wet, it gets dark like that. That would appear to be that. I guess the winds, where that winds went is a big question for me. I was really thinking we would intersect that, and we didn't. So I don't know what the story is on that winds. It's kind of a cool view. I have to say, this mine wildly exceeded my expectations. Much more interesting than I expected. So I like pleasant surprises like that. I hope you guys found this one interesting as well.